Since the end of the Trump administration earlier this month, former Vice President Mike Pence has stayed off the radar. He has been suspiciously absent from the discussion. Nobody knows where he is. Please, somebody get a milk carton for good old
Mike Pounds.
Yes. Now, that's actually pretty smart, considering how Trump supporters, like the ones who stormed the Capitol, are not exactly happy about, or happy with him or about anything that he had done. In fact, they people that stormed the Capitol were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." So, yeah. Now, that goes to the new report from Business Insider that not only that reports that not only is the former vice president and his wife Karen, also known as Mother, out of power, but they're also out of a home. They've got nowhere to go. Interesting. Imagine that, right? Now, of course, they're not homeless. They're rich. They can buy a home. They could rent a home. They could hotel it in the nicest places imaginable. I mean, honestly, it's not like they don't have a ton of money. They do, of course. Just right now, since leaving the vice president's mansion, they don't know where they're going to live. So that's interesting because it really tells you a lot. All right. Especially since they had since in early November in order to find a place to live. And yet they still couldn't do it? Okay, granted, we're in a pandemic, right? So you might think, being in a pandemic, it might be difficult to find a house, right? Well, you would be wrong about that, actually. And kind of surprisingly, because, there's nothing that I've seen that indicates that the housing market isn't, that it's in bad shape. In fact, a lot of news reports have shown that it's actually in fantastic shape. The housing market is actually booming. So there's really no reason for the Pence family to not have a home. In fact, let me go to Lawrence Yun, chief economist at the National Association of Realtors. So he's talking with Housing Wire and said this about, homes in America. Quote, "The buyers are coming in because of low interest rates," which is true. That's the number one reason. The secondary demand is coming from the work-at-home phenomenon that is people looking for bigger homes and caring less about commuting time. So, if you are lucky enough to still have a job and are still doing incredibly well financially, like the Pence family, then apparently the housing market is tremendous. It's never been better, which is a huge disconnect, by the way, compared to the rest of everyone else. All right? So big disconnect going on here. So that said, millions of people facing evictions right now, can't afford rents and bills, and it's really a good example of the two Americas that we have in this country. And yet Pence himself can afford a house, but doesn't actually have it. So that brings a couple of important questions, right? For me, did he really expect to continue living in the vice president's mansion after November 4th? Did he really think that he was going to win at this point? Kind of weird. That said, more details, and they're fantastic. Republicans close to the couple are not exactly sure of their current living arrangements, on purpose, but they believe that the former second couple is couch surfing at the residences of various Indiana officials. According to one source, the Pences are staying at the dolled-up cabin nearby that the Indiana governor uses as a retreat. If so, they'd need permission to spend the night from Pence's former lieutenant governor, who now serves as governor, Eric Holcomb, reported Tom LaBianco. Two Republicans close to the Pences said that they have heard the former second couple was staying at Pence's brother's place in Columbus. So where are they? Where's the Pence family? Everybody, this is like a game of Where's Waldo, except you're looking for Mike Pence. Or
Mike Pounds.
Right. So, okay. All right. Now, one thing that everybody seems to be certain of, according to Business Insider, is that when the Pences moved out of the vice president's residence at the U.S. Naval Observatory in Washington, they had nowhere to go. The former second couple doesn't actually own a house, which again is super weird. Now, anybody who had been paying attention lately to the Capitol riot knows that this is likely on purpose. The guy is in hiding, okay? In fact, Republicans who spoke with Insider also said that they wondered whether Pence and his team are closely guarding their new domicile because of the wave of death threats he faced just 3 weeks ago. True. The Trump-incited mob that stormed the Capitol earlier this month shouted that they wanted to hang Mike Pence, and that some of the people came within 100 feet of confronting him and his family as they were hurried to a secure location in the Capitol. So this is what happened, right? So this family is scared of the Trumpers, the violent mobs of Trump supporters that now hate him. He is enemy number one because he didn't steal the election for Donald Trump. Oh, that's fascinating. Oh, that's fascinating. I told you he was going to be one of the most hated Republicans among Trump supporters. And that's, I mean, it's true, and it's come true. It's come true. The report also noted that Pence has essentially been cut off from all contact with the former president, who was enraged by his refusal to overthrow the election during congressional certification, which he didn't actually even have the power to do, to be honest with you. He didn't have the, they were saying that through their complete lack of understanding how this process works, they're saying, well, Pence could just overturn the whole thing. No, he doesn't actually have that power. But nonetheless, because these people are not very smart and they don't actually know the processes or anything like that, they're essentially idiots, they're morons, okay? They don't understand that Mike Pence couldn't actually overturn the election results through the certification. But they hate him anyway. They hate him anyway. And they're they're coming after him. And this has got the Pence family incredibly scared. Wow. Now, Pence, for his part, is reportedly resentful that Trump had put his life in danger. Oh, how the mighty
Mike Pounds
has fallen. It's so good. You love to see it. You love to see it. Not because I actually want Mike Pence's life to be in danger. No, of course not. I actually wish him a safe post vice presidency. But it's to once again kind of hammer home a point, right? That everybody tied to Donald Trump is destined to go down. It's true. I made this prediction, right? And I said that when Donald Trump goes down, one way or the other, it's going to be like a massive black hole. It's going to suck up everybody who is connected to the Trumps, and who still profess loyalty to the Trumps is either going to get burned or going to get in major legal trouble. And so we've seen this. Michael Cohen, Rudy Giuliani, who's facing, lawsuits and legal trouble from the Southern District of New York, and now, of course, Mike Pence, and basically everybody who helped Donald Trump either destroy the country, or and did crimes along with it, or at least sat back and let all of this happen. And look, Mike Pence did this to himself. This is self-inflicted. This is why I don't feel bad for him, okay? In the pursuit of power, he allied with a terrible person and is now dealing with the consequences. Understand, though, no victim. He's not a victim. He's no victim. I don't feel sorry for him. None of you should feel sorry for this guy, or for anyone who is now facing the consequences of their actions. They fucked around, and guess what? They finding out. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.